Hey, how y'all doing? So we're gonna do a short review of AEW Dynamite. I'm not gonna do the entire show, just certain things that I thought were important. Basically, the two title matches were, and we're probably gonna talk about Miro as well. And the good thing is Miro was actually out there first, so he had his in-ring debut. It was Miro and Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss in a match that I did not want to watch. I did not want to watch this. Miro still has blonde hair. He's still built like a brick shit house. You know, he's still huge. He still can do all of his Rusev stuff. It kind of looked like he might have tweaked his ankle a little bit in this match, but this match was nothing special. It was just really nothing special at all. They could have kept this shit. We being honest. I didn't need to see Rusev. This match needed to be shorter to get over how dominant Miro is. They let these guys, it's kind of weird saying guys with Sonny Kiss, but they let them guys get too much offense in. Sometimes you need to just have a squash match. Miro just going out there with a job guy, Griff Garrison, beating him in 36 seconds to prove that he's still a monster would have been just fine. Would have been A-OK. That would have been fine. Why they put him in a match with guys that they kind of like, and then they gave those guys too much offense and too much time. If you want to, I saw people making excuses saying, "Oh, he needed to work off the ring rust." Do that some other time. Do that on AEW Dark or something. But his first match should have been a complete obliteration of his opponent to prove that he was underrated and that he can do more than comedy stuff. That's what they should have done. You know, I guess they just wanted to put a W next to Kip Sabian's name. Who cares? And then they went to start doing comedy shit right after that. But, you know, whatever. Miro is already off to a bad start. He's limping. He was limping in the match. Hopefully, he was just selling. And the crazy thing is, there was a spot in that match where I thought Kip Sabian got dumped on his head. It looked really ugly. He seemed to be all right. You know, hopefully he's fine. You know, but I was spooked there for a moment that maybe he had just gotten dropped on his head. So I don't really remember what happened after that. After Miro came out, there was a bunch of stuff happening. But so let's just go to the TNT Championship match, which was Orange Cassidy versus Brody Lee. And of course, I had a problem with this match, not just because I don't like either one of these guys, but you would think that a guy who is fighting for his first championship would take it a lot more seriously, and he didn't. Orange Cassidy just worked his gimmick. His gimmick is putting his hands in his pockets and, you know, using some sort of explosive speed and, you know, kind of being comedic, you know, doing the low kicks in the leg. And, you know, it was back to square one with Orange Cassidy. He showed a little bit of intensity here and there, spurts of intensity. He tries to lull you to sleep and then, you know, wake you up with like bursts of energy. You know, there was a couple of weird spots. One weird spot is he had his hands in his pockets. He did a, I guess, what the hell do you call it? A tope through the ring ropes, and then all of the Dark Order caught him. Let's back up on the Dark Order a minute, because the Dark Order, of course, when Brody Lee is wrestling, they're all around the ring. So I think his name was John Silver, Long John Silver, or whatever his name is, Josh Silver. Maybe somebody needs to correct me in the comment section. But this guy is a complete and total dweeb. Like, this guy was stomping Orange Cassidy's denim jacket, and then Orange Cassidy took his shirt off and he stomped Orange Cassidy's shirt. Like, he was throwing a fit. Like, he was just stomping the crap out of them clothes. I'm just like, what is going on? What did the clothes do? What did the clothes do to make you that mad? Why was you so upset? And then Anna Jay started giving Orange Cassidy a hard time, and he slipped his glasses over her eyes. And I was just kind of like, okay, I get that. I get no selling, you know, the peanut gallery. I get that. You know, you don't really want to show that they're ruffling your feathers. But then he went against the big dude who is like a whole foot taller than him, wider than him, you know, stronger than him. It's supposed to be like this sawed-off monster, sawed-off beast. Again, they don't know what they're doing with the Dark Order. We don't know. They don't know if they're a cult or if they're a business enterprise. We're not sure, you know, and so we're not sure what this Exalted one is supposed to be. But whatever it is, he's not supposed to be getting mocked like this by some scrawny dope with his hands in his pockets. That's just weird. Like you would think that a guy who just had these matches with Chris Jericho and sort of earned this spot, he legitimately earned this title match. You would think that this guy would take this match more seriously, and he just didn't. So I find it very hard to take a match seriously when the people in it don't take it seriously. But back to what I said, he did a tope through the ring ropes, and all of the Dark Order caught him, and they just basically held him off the ground so Brody Lee could jump and land on everybody. I was like, okay. At that point, I'm just like, okay, dog, whatever you say. But Orange Cassidy, it was a typical Orange Cassidy match. He did some ducks, some dodge, some avoiding. Brody Lee tried to work, do strong stuff and be physical. And ultimately, it was a little distraction from somebody from the Dark Order. I don't remember who. And Orange Cassidy walked right into a discus clothesline. Then he got pinned. So, whatever, And I don't see what's the point of having the guy beat Chris Jericho twice. He pinned Chris Jericho, and then he loses to Brody Lee. Okay. All right. I guess Brody Lee is higher on the pecking order. I can accept that. But and it wasn't clean exactly, so I can double accept that. But I don't see what's the point of yes, you kind of earned the right to kind of take it easy because Jericho is the highest level heel in the company and you beat him twice. But this is for a championship, and you're supposed to take championship matches a lot more seriously than this. So fuck that. Anyway, so they did this. The screen went dark because the screen goes dark pretty much every episode of Dynamite, and they started showing these weird visuals and this weird music, and I just like, it's Cody. I knew it was Cody before he came out. I'm like, come on, it's elaborate, it's over the top, it's self-centered to go to drag this out the way that it is. It's obviously Cody. Who else could it be? And of course, it was Cody with black hair. He's dyed his hair black now. And everybody was like, oh, Cody's looks so different. He's so different. He's aggressive and his hair's black. Oh, what does this mean? We're looking at a different side of Cody. And I'm like, it's just Cody. it's Cody. He's been gone for 5 weeks and he dyed his hair black. And it's clearly hair dye. Like, I don't think that's like his natural. It's jet black too. So that's like, natural. It's not natural. And he beat up a couple of guys in the Dark Order and beat up put one of those guys and ran his legs up against the ring apron. Not the ring apron, but the ring post, and put him in a figure four, and kind of try to make Cody's look vicious and serious now. All right. So then Brody Lee cuts a promo later. In the promo, he says, what kind of man sends another man to do his fighting? And he's talking about Dustin. What kind of man sends his woman to do his fighting? He's talking about Brandy, because Brandy got beat up by, what's that girl? Anna Jay. And he beat up Dustin. And then he talks about what kind of man lets his wife post thirst traps on Instagram. I almost died laughing, because that's all Brandy does. Brandy has nudes on the internet. Brandy does post thirst traps all the time. That's one of her gimmicks, man. You know what they say about, women and attention? It's the attention is currency in girl world. That's a Rollo Tomasi quote. Attention is currency. But he said something about, her posting thirst traps and calling him daddy. But then he got into the serious stuff. He's trying to have a personality. Then he started talking about something serious, something that I actually perked up when I saw. He wants to have a dog collar match with Cody. And I was like, okay, all right. See, now this is something I think that AEW can do better than the WWE. Is they can make a dog collar match feel like a real old school NWA dog collar match is supposed to look. AEW can do that because it's going to be blood. It's going to be violent. There's going to be a title on the line. So this is essentially going to be maybe Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine. Okay. I can rock with that. These guys are going to go out there and one of them going to rip the other one's ear off. Okay. We're gonna make out there and make one of them deaf in one ear. Okay, go for it, dog. I think we should. I think I like that. I like that one. See, that's not something I can disagree with. I like the dog collar match idea. You could spare me with Cody dyeing his hair black. Okay, so there was something else that interested me before we start talking about the world title match. There was an interview segment in which the one buck with the beard, the not bald one, is it Matt? I'm gonna pick just Matt. I think it's Matt because he had the sideburns. Now he has a beard. I think it's Matt Jackson. And he was talking to Tony Schiavone, and I noticed obviously Matt Jackson cannot cut a promo. Can't talk. He's not very good. He's not very convincing at being angry. Not very convincing at being arrogant. He's just not convincing as a heel whatsoever. And but the thing is, he's smaller than Tony Schiavone. I sit there and watched it. And I just looked and I was like, "There's something so weird here." And I just kept looking at it, and I kept looking at it, and I kept looking at it. And by the time the promo was over, I was like, "Why is Tony Schiavone so much bigger than this guy?" Tony Schiavone is bigger than Matt Jackson. And now what made Matt Jackson bullying him even more weird? You know, like he took Tony Schiavone's phone and smashed it because he kept talking about, kept asking him questions about FTR. And I was just kind of like, whatever, whatever. The Young Bucks trying to be mean, it's not working. I don't understand how hard it is to be mean. It's like, because they're not really good at being nice either. So like, what is their personality? What is their base personality? Like some people are really, really good at being nice. And, like John Cena. John Cena is really good at being nice. There's some naturally nice people out there. It doesn't feel like an act. It doesn't feel fake. Then you have some natural heels. Some natural assholes. And, them being baby faces feel fake. Them being heels feels more natural. They say what they mean and mean what they say. But when it comes to the Young Bucks, they're not convincing baby faces or convincing heels. It's almost as if these motherfuckers were made in a lab. It's like somebody put them together in a lab with no personality whatsoever and no default personality whatsoever. Not even a base nice guy or mean guy jerk type of, it just doesn't work. The only thing that they can do is react from, people messing with them. That's pretty much it. Like they do a good job of turning the phrase. Like they have made like killing the business one of their slogans. They've done a good job of monetizing that. But as far as being heels or baby faces in any convincing sense, no. They do too much flippy shit to be convincing heels. They don't cheat nearly enough. They're not mean. They're not mean enough. They don't have a mean streak. It's almost like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I did want to make sure that everybody knows, everybody notes next time you watch maybe that segment or watch any segment, Tony Schiavone is bigger than Matt Jackson. All right, so another segment that I want to talk about, Chris Jericho versus that one kid from Private Party. That whole promo segment can go to hell. I do like that the kid stood up to Chris Jericho. I like that. I like that he challenged him. I think it's Isaiah Cassidy. Yes, Isaiah Cassidy, that's his name. And he said that he wanted to beat Chris Jericho because he almost beat him in the tag team match. And Jericho is the one who put him in the walls of Jericho after the match, after he beat Private Party. And then that wasn't even important because we already know Isaiah Cassidy has no shot at beating Chris Jericho. It's just an exhibition, But the good thing was the Chris Jericho MJF promo. That was fucking good. It was good that MJF is giving all these fake praises to Jericho. And I like that they're trying to play pretty much. The problem is that they're playing the same character. And it's kind of cute, that they're saying they're kind of lying to each other. But at the same time, you can't have the same character in the same place at the same time. It has to be, you can look at the similarities of the characters and say, oh, that's neat, But with them talking in stereo and being really fake, I can get behind that. I like that. I just want them. I just feel like MJF should be MJF and Jericho should be Jericho, and not, they try to be the same, because that's obviously like a choreographed promo. You can you like, again, people's like, oh, they don't have scripts in AEW. Come on, bro. You think that they naturally say things in stereo? No, they're scripting these promos. But I also feel like it's a good. I like the pairing. I like the pairing from when they did it previously. Not just when they did the post pay per view promo, but what they did on Dynamite, months ago. It was Jericho and MJF, and they was doing a little tit for tat, going back and forth, and they kind of had that whole "I like this kid, I like this guy" sort of mentality. I liked it then. I like it now. I just want to. I think that if MJF is not fully defined enough to either be standing beside Chris Jericho, because he's going to come across as being just another Chris Jericho, he needs to be still off on his own, and doing his own thing. But I like them interacting. I enjoy their interactions. I enjoy the fakeness between the two of them. I enjoy, arrogant heels being arrogant heels to each other. Saying that they didn't call each other losers. They were talking about the drivers, which is nice. I laughed. And if you can get a laugh out of me, and it's one thing for me to laugh, and because I've given up on the show. Like I laugh at pretty much everything when it comes to Raw, because I've given up on the show. But if I'm bored, like I am for like a lot of episodes of AEW Dynamite, where it's just like long matches that don't mean anything, like the Adam Page Evil Uno match. Like I literally just picked up a comic book and started reading it right in the middle of the match. I couldn't, because for starters, I knew who was going to win, and secondly, I didn't like Evil Uno, so who cares? But let's get to this AEW Championship match, because oh my god! All right, so for people who don't know, there's some whispers that, well, it's been confirmed that Lance Archer got the Rona, so that's why the 6-man tag match didn't happen. There were some whispers that Brian Cage might have the Rona. So who runs a sloppy shop? Who runs a sloppy shop? Okay, but Lance Archer said that somebody he was in the house who had the Rona, and now he's tested positive for the Rona, so he's got the Rona. Brian Cage is not confirmed yet, but I find it very strange that whenever somebody in WWE said they got the Rona, it's everywhere. Like you see it on every. When AJ Styles said he had it, people couldn't stop talking about AJ Styles had the Rona. Now Lance Archer got it, and nobody's saying anything about him having the Rona. But whatever. But that's why this match, this Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley match, took place. It's a good way of, taking a loose. Now this is very creative. I'll give Tony Khan credit for this. He took a loose end, which was Eddie Kingston not losing the Battle Royal, and he quickly, it was a Band-Aid on this match because he had to do something. But he just took that and just tied it on up now, and it probably had nothing to do with his original plan. But he's going to have to alter that goddamn plan, because who knows how long Lance Archer's going to be gone. He's probably going to be back in time for his title match, because he said he's going to be gone for 2 weeks or whatever, but we'll see. In any event, that's why the single match is taking place and not the 6-man tag that they originally specified. And I'm not so sure if Brian Cage came out after the match, because I'm pretty sure he didn't. But the match between Moxley and Kingston was pretty, like I'm giving up on Moxley. Like I'm giving up on Moxley being any good, on Moxley's matches being good. I just don't. He's not even Stone Cold Steve Austin exciting. Like he needs to just go full punches and stomps. Just go full punches and stomps and stop trying to do anything else. His knee strikes are the worst things I have ever seen. Look, every time he does these knee strikes, I can see so much space between his knees and whatever he's supposed to be hitting. It makes no contact whatsoever. At least do the Mr. Wrestling 2 and just do a $1 million knee lift. And you can run your thigh into the guy's chest, or something, slap your thigh against his chest, like, boom. But these Muay Thai knees, quote unquote, where you just basically lift your knee like you doing bad Taibo and not even making contact, is bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. It's terrible. Eddie Kingston's chops were pretty good. It was physical. They did a couple of. They went outside the ring. They was outside the ring for a little while, but it didn't. It didn't. I expected it to turn into a bloody butt fuck, but it didn't. They kept it. They tried to keep it wrestling, and that probably wasn't to their benefit. Eddie Kingston doesn't seem to still not be in any shape to perform. He's kind of got a little bit of a stomach on him. Maybe that's just kind of how he is. I think he's always been that way. But, he's okay. I think he's better as a mouthpiece and as a bruiser. So if this match was no DQ hardcore, it probably would have been so much better. But it would have been, of course, just another no DQ crap all outside the ring and stuff like that. But whatever. In any event, Jon Moxley wins the match with a bulldog choke, which is what they're calling his secondary finish. And the first thing I thought when I saw the bulldog choke, and he choked Eddie Kingston out, so Eddie Kingston didn't have to tap out. So the first thing I thought after seeing that is, why couldn't he use that in the match with MJF? Why couldn't he use the bulldog? Why did he have to break his word and do the... Like, I get that the reason that they did that was so that MJF can say he cheated, but he used the baby face. He shouldn't be cheating. Yeet. Whatever. Anyway, in any event, after the match, Pentagon or Penta El Zero M, I'm not calling him that. His name is Pentagon Jr., okay? Look, we know that AAA owns the gimmick, so they're pulling their IP. He has to change his name, and he's changing his name to Penta El Zero M. Just gonna call him Pentagon Jr. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. So Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix jumped Jon Moxley from behind. They beating him up, and then Will Hobbs comes out to make the save. Will Hobbs is a big dude. He comes out to make the save. Boom, and what happens? He gets beaten up by the Lucha guys, I'm sure. He gets knocked down by the Lucha boys. So then what happens? Then fucking Darby Allin comes out, the guy who is half of Will Hobbs' size, comes out with a skateboard, runs the heels off. Heels just they run away from a dude the size of a 12th grader. A big grown man like Will Hobbs had to take a bump and get beaten down. But Darby Allin, guy half his size, literally, gets to be the heroic babyface. Okay, whatever. And then you start having a bunch of run-ins. This was when you start having Ricky Starks come out there. And Ricky Starks came out there and beat up Darby Allin because him and Darby Allin are going to have a match on the 30th. And Ricky Starks hit him with his finish. Lucha and Ricky Starks and all these guys, they just beat up Darby Allin, and it seemed like the planned end for the show was for Will Hobbs, Moxley, and Darby Allin to get beaten up, and they just said, we're going to continue with that. That's how we're going to end the show, and that's what they did. This show was not good. There was a lot of stuff on this show I didn't care about. The late night Dynamite, I've heard some people ranting and raving about it. Especially that Ben Carter guy. I heard so much about Ben Carter is so great. And I watched the match and I was like, he's all right. He was just aggressive. That's really all it was. I literally saw somebody say, I never seen anybody move that fast in the ring. I'm like, what? You didn't watch Hoovy? You didn't watch Psychosis? You didn't watch Ray? What? Okay. Look, I can't tell this guy what he saw with his eyes. I can only laugh at the fucking shit that he said. Ben Carter is okay. All right, he's all right. But That match, for starters, that match was too long. But whatever. It was. I didn't see the main event because I don't watch 10-guy matches. Ty Dillinger. I don't. Nah, I'm good. I'm good on. I like Matt Sydal, but I'm good on. I'm good on Sean Spears. I don't. Nah, I'm good. But so I watched AEW, a lot of AEW today. I watched 2.5 hours of AEW. So I need help. And anyway, thank you guys for listening. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Like the video, share the video, tell your friends about the channel. And I'll talk to you guys later.